There's only one time of year that I really let myself go crazy when it comes to book shopping, and that's my birthday month. This year I turned 26, and I acquired 40 new books. You guys know I'm very strict and selective when it comes to my purchases, and I'm truly so excited to read all 40 of these books. I think they're all gonna be amazing, and my arms are hurting, so without further ado, let's just get into the haul. No books were harmed in the making of this video, surprisingly. This isn't a book, but it's bookish, so I wanted to give it an honorable mention. I found this pillow at TJ Maxx, and I thought it was just so adorable. It says reading is my favorite sport, so I got it for my library. And now let's get into what you really came for, the books. You guys know I'm not a book haul hater, but I'm not a book haul advocate, but my birthday is like the one time of year that I just give myself a free pass and an excuse to buy a bunch of books. And I obviously get gifted a bunch of books as well, so it just kind of works out to be the one time of year that I just go a little bit crazy. But I did my research. I looked at Christian reviews before I bought any of these books, or I either started them at the library or on Kindle to make sure that I really would like them before I purchased them. So I feel really, really good about this haul, and you really made me feel loved for my birthday this year. So thank you guys. I love you. Let me start off by talking about the books that were gifted to me by subscribers and friends and family first. So the first two books that I am going to talk about are two Christian fictions sent to me by my subscriber, Sarah. It's like she crawled into my mind and found the two books that I wanted the most. I am just itching to read both of these. Like, they will be read immediately, especially this one, since this is my July book club book. As always, if you guys want to join, it's free and I have the link below. This is The Not So Neutral Zone by Susan and Sarah May Warren. If any of you Christian girlies are getting FOMO about missing out on the deal, the books and the show because they don't glorify God, enter this book. This is a Christian hockey romance, second chance, fake dating, and forced proximity because they have to attend a wedding together. Hockey romance are my favorite sports romances. It's spice-free, it glorifies God, and it has some of my favorite tropes in it. It's like this book was made for me, and I cannot wait to be reading this book in July. I've heard so many amazing, amazing reviews, and I'm just really craving a light and just fun romance, because if you've been following my Goodreads, you would have saw that I'm in a major reading slump. I only read one book the entire month of June, and I have not only read one book an entire month in probably like 2 years. It's so bad. So I need a book like this that'll just pull me out of my slump, make me feel all of the feelings, and just be fun and light. So this came to me at the perfect time. Thank you so much, Sarah. I cannot wait to read this. And Miss Sarah also knew that I'm reading book 1 in this series, and she sent me book 2. I'm currently 40% of the way through book 1, which is A War of Crowns, and this one is A Court of Vipers by Ashley Willingham. This is a very high politics, dual POV Christian fantasy. I think it becomes a romantasy, but so far it's been a very slow burn. I have no idea who the love interest is because it's just not been introduced yet, and I'm 40% into the way of the book, and that's just how I like it. This is a trilogy, and I'm not going to talk too much about book 1 because it will be in my Christian fantasy reading vlog, but I am so happy to have this book on hand to jump right into because it's giving 5-star feelings. I will say that. So if you're looking for a Christian fantasy, but you don't want something so light and so fluffy and young, you want something more mature, this is the series for you. These two books were sent to me by my subscriber turned friend, Lyndsey. I mentioned her in my previous video since she recently started a channel, so you guys should definitely subscribe to her channel and check out all of her videos. She's so sweet. She's a Christian and she has a great reading taste. But what's funny is she found my channel from my first birthday book haul, and then we became in-person friends after that. So she's like, this is just like full circle. I want to send you some books for your birthday since we became friends from that first video. So she put me on to the Emma M. Lyon series. She knew that I read book 1 and enjoyed it. She sent me book 2 and I just devoured it. Like, start to finish, binged this book and really, really enjoyed it. And then I was like, oh, I have to get the rest of the series. And I didn't have to wait long because my mom sent me the rest of the entire series as my birthday present. So entire Emma M. Lyon series thus far, one of the greatest gifts, truly. And the other book Lyndsey gifted me was The Hunger of the Gods, which is the second book in the Bloodsworn trilogy by John Gwynne, which is so satisfying because I had book 1 and book 3, but I didn't have book 2. So now I have the full trilogy. And speaking of series, I found these books about a month ago. I didn't get them specifically for my birthday, but over the month I've acquired them. I found these all for like $1 or $2 each. It is the entire Chronicles of Narnia series, and they're in a really good condition. So I was like, for $1-2, can't say no. I have read The Magician's Nephew, and I'm this far through The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I'm reading this entire series to my girls. It's our before bed, and they're loving it. I'm loving it. The way that these books are geared towards children, but also simultaneously simultaneously works so well for adults is truly masterful. I'm really enjoying this series so far. Next, I'm going to be talking about some classics. 2026 has been the year that I just discovered my love for classic literature. Since I started getting convicted about reading all of the popular booktok books due to the content in them, I was like, you know what, let's take it back like lots and lots of decades and get into the classic books. And I have 5 classic books to share with you guys that I got during my birthday month. This I actually got for Mother's Day. I did already mention this. I got this in the end of May and my birthday is like early June. So I was like, I'm just gonna include it anyway so that I can have 40 books to talk about because it's much more satisfying to just have a nice round number. But this is the anniversary edition of The Princess Bride. I have seen the movie, really enjoyed it. So I know that I'm gonna love this book. And with the next classic, I feel like there's a lot of people reading this, loving it, talking about it. Lonesome Dove. This is technically a series, I think, but some people start with like the prequel. Some people start with this book, and I would love you guys' input in the comments on what you think. I'm planning to start with this one, but if I should read the prequel first, definitely let me know. This is many people's favorite book of all time. It is a Western, and it's just an epic spanning novel about a rancher, and that's all I know. It doesn't take much to convince me to get a classic book because I know they're classics for a reason, which leads me to my next book. I got Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Guys, I have no idea how to say her name. I'm more on the nervous side to read this one because it's a little gothic, maybe a little spooky, and you guys know that's not really my vibe. However, I know this is very influential and it's a lot of people's favorite book. So again, I bought it. Doesn't take much to convince me to buy a classic. The next classic I got is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Again, kind of similar to the vibes of Rebecca. Little dark, little creepy, little gothic, maybe a little spooky, a little toxic, but timeless. And based off the movie trailers, I will not be watching this movie, but I do want to read the book as the story was intended to be. So that's all I'm gonna say. And the last book I'm pretty sure classifies as a classic, but I'm not entirely sure. It's Trinity by Leon Uris. Again, I don't know with these authors' names. Everybody just says the name of the book and you just know what book you're talking about. I did already mention this. I got this at the same library sale. Never mind, I did not mention the library sale yet. Oh yeah, I did. I got this at the same library sale that I got all of the Narnia books at. I know that this is an Irish novel that has a lot of faith-based elements, some romance, some war. It's about power, it's about tragedy. It just sounds like an amazing book. I actually do have another book that could potentially classify as a classic because it's by C.S. Lewis. My husband got this little miniature book for me. It's literally called Little Book of Wisdom, and every page has a different quote from one of C.S. Lewis's works. So literally just open it up and all of his famous quotes are going to be in here. For instance, the 4 loves. Don't let your happiness depend on something you may lose. This one's from The Problem of Pain. It says, God intends to give us what we need, not what we now think we want. The Magician's Nephew. No great wisdom can be reached without sacrifice. Another from Surprised by Joy. It says, straight tribulation is easier to bear than tribulation which advertises itself as pleasure. So good. And I love having a little tiny cute book that has all of his best quotes in one place. So I'm so happy that he got this one for me. So over halfway through, let's get into the rest of them. Next, let's talk about fantasy. I have a pretty good stack of fantasy to talk about. The first one I actually don't know anything about other than it is an arc and it's a young adult fantasy. It's called Flicker State by F.A. Davidson. It says on the back, A Study in Drowning meets Neverworld Wake in this debut YA fantasy filled with lush world building, heart-stopping romance, and a high-stakes competition that could be the key to everything. It sounds like this is going to be fun and entertaining, and I'm assuming that it's going to be clean because it's YA. However, y'all know nowadays that doesn't really mean anything because they're filling YA books with smut. So whenever I read that one, I'll update you guys and let you know my thoughts on it and if it actually is worthy of the young adult title. But the premise of it sounds really interesting and really fun. Another book I got, this one is a Christian fantasy. It is the second book, I believe. Yeah, the second book in the Mark of the Raven trilogy. I'm also currently reading this one. I think I'm about 70% of the way through the first one, not this one, but that will also be in my Christian fantasy reading vlog. I found this one at the same library sale that I got Narnia and Trinity at. It was $2 and I knew I was going to read the entire trilogy. If I know that it's specifically a Christian book, I'll buy it just to support the author or the library. The fact that it was $2, Christian fantasy, say less. And I am actually really happy that I got this because I'm loving the first book. I'm almost done with it. I'm 70% of the way through and I'm really, really enjoying it. But I'm saving all of my thoughts for that reading vlog. So click the notification bell if you don't want to miss that video, which honestly, all 3 books are almost giving 5-star feels. So be on the lookout for that video. I got some amazing recs coming your way for Christian fantasy. Next, these are just clean young adult fantasies. I have the Daughter of the Pirate King trilogy, all in hardbacks that I got from Book Outlet. I've heard this is fun, adventurous, a little bit thrilling, and just overall a really fun time. So whenever I'm in the mood for a fantasy, but I don't want to have all of the brain cells that come along with keeping track of all of the politics, a wide cast of characters, yada yada yada, and I just want a fun little quick romantasy. I actually think these are also young adult pirate romances. This is a duology. It's the Nightweaver and Star Chaser books by R.M. Gray. These also have really cute sprayed edges, are hardcovers, but I don't know much about this series. Honestly, I was convinced by the pretty covers to get them. Again, I'm not sure about the content in here, but whenever I do read them, I will let you guys know if there's anything to watch out for. The next book, I'm not sure if this is a young adult or adult, but this is a romantasy. I want to say it's a duology, but it might be a standalone. Don't know much about this one, but it's called A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena, and this is what convinced me to buy it. It says, a dancer turned spy must decide how far she will go to secure her freedom. I love books with spies in them, and I was a dancer for many years competitively, so just mixing both of those two things together just felt very niche and might be something that I really enjoy, so picked that one up. Plus, the cover is gorgeous. They always say don't judge a book by their cover, but if it's a pretty cover, it's gonna do something to my little bookish heart, which is the same exact reason that I bought this next book. I got the Owl Crate special edition of Just Friends by Haley Pham. Haley is a huge reason why I ever became a reader in the first place, so any excuse to support her, I'm gonna be along for the ride. Obviously, I did still enjoy this book. I gave it a 3.75. I thought it was a lovely, refreshing, summery read, and this edition was just so gorgeous, I couldn't not get it. Now, I have some Christian fiction here to talk about. I have no idea what this book is about. All I know is it's a Christian thriller, and I'm anticipating it to be really spooky because it just looks really spooky. It's called Adam by Ted Decker, and it says he died once to stop the killer. Now he's dying again to save his wife. Interesting. I'm not a big thriller person, but since this is written by a Christian author, I feel like it could be more up my alley. And I found this one at the library for $1. So figured for $1, I can give it a shot. And next I have a very new release. This is Brighter Than Before by Courtney Walsh. I absolutely love Courtney Walsh. She has become an auto-buy author for me, which means whatever she releases, I'm gonna purchase because I read her enough to know what she's gonna write and that I'm gonna like it. Some of her books have faith elements, some of them are just clean, but they are all just very witty, very refreshing, fun, clean reads. Like, you don't have to worry about there being some stuff in here that'll pop up. She always writes very safe books that I feel I can recommend to anybody and everybody. This romance in specific, the female main character is in her 40s, which is also something I enjoy reading. I read a lot of young adult, but I also love reading adult books. I want them to honor and glorify the Lord, and a lot of times they don't. This one is about a woman who is suffering after a painfully public discovery that shatters her marriage, along with her picture-perfect country club life. So she's thinking of ways that she can fill her time and make her life something that she's proud of. So she takes a step of faith, puts her old life in the rearview mirror, and leases an apartment in Chicago, a city that has always had her heart. And it sounds like she's gonna have a budding romance with her neighbor. It says, between late night journaling, disastrous first dates, great big lessons, and priceless small victories, Claire learns to quiet the voice telling her she wasn't enough and listens to the one that asks the harder question, what do I really want? I love a good midlife crisis book, and this one's by one of my favorite romance authors, so say less. This next book was actually recommended to me by one of you guys. It's The Warsaw Sisters by Amanda Barat. The subscriber that recommended this to me knew that I loved The Nightingale, and this is like a Christian version of The Nightingale pretty much, except it's about two sisters that have their father sent off to Poland to fight against the threat of German invasion, and the next day a bomb drops, decimating their cherished city and shattering the world of their youth. One of the sisters gets locked behind the wall with the rest of Warsaw's Jewish population, and the other sister knows she cannot stand by and soon becomes a key figure in a daring network of women risking their lives to shelter Jewish children. Her comment convinced me to buy this book, and I saw it at Barnes. There's only one copy, and I was like, you know what? My birthday month would be a great time to buy this. So I did. And the last Christian fiction that I have to talk about is Vanished by Dr. David Jeremiah. I found this book at the same library sale I got those other books at. It was $2, I believe. And I think this is a futuristic military style book that might be focused around end times. The cover and the description kind of remind me of the Left Behind series a little bit, so similar vibe, maybe a little bit boyish, but I like boy books, okay? I like young adult girly girl books, but I also like big boy books, if that makes any sense. I will read anything and everything, and sometimes I'm really in the mood for something like this. I love action movies and war movies. Hopefully this is gonna be everything I want in a military thriller. I have 4 books left here to talk about. 3 of them are romance, and 1 of them is a historical fiction, I believe. This book was sent to me. It's called Journeying Home by Emily Nedam. Don't know anything about this other than it's a World War I potential romance. I'm intrigued. The remaining 3 books I would classify as secular romance, so take these 3 with a grain of salt. I don't know if I'm gonna love these 3, but I have No Matter What by Cara Bastone. The reason that I picked this one up is because it's about a married couple, and that's not something that you see a lot of times in romance, and they have to fight to rebuild what has been broken. Sometimes I feel like romance can be a little too fluffy. That's why I decided to pick this one up, because it sounds a little gritty, sounds a little raw, potentially relatable, because marriage is not all sunshine and rainbows. So excited to give this one a read and see if I like it. Hopefully I do. The next book I'm anticipating liking, however, Catherine Center's other recent release, I think it's called The Love Haters, didn't love that one, but The Rom-Commers by her is one of my favorite romances literally ever. So I decided to pick this one up. It recently came out. It's called The Shippers. The premise is something that we've seen before. She wants his help in order to woo somebody else. I can already tell what direction it's gonna go in, and I can already tell that I'm gonna like the direction that it's gonna go in. Some things just work, and this is a trope that I really love. Just finding love unexpectedly and having it come to you versus going out and having to search for it. It says, shipboard antics abound in this witty, heart-tugging childhood friends to lovers romance as Jojo and Cooper team up, fake flirt, slow dance, share a cabin, sing duets, get jealous, answer long-held questions, and finally at last discover truths about each other that will change everything. And the last book that I will be mentioning in my 2026 birthday haul is The Someday Garden by Ashley Poston. Again, her books are a little bit hit or miss for me, but the premise of this one sounds very promising. It says when Sophie Dreer plans her escape to coastal Maine for the summer for a temporary job revitalizing the storied grounds at Lilymore House, she doesn't expect to fall in love. But she does, with the fragrant flowers and the towering hedge maze, with the quirky staff and the woman who owns the place. Then the door appears, never in the same place twice. It leads her to a secret, unfinished garden with a frustrated thundercloud of a man trapped inside. This mysterious garden is not the only sign that the future of Lilymore is unstable. Despite herself, Sophie has come to care for the residents of Lilymore as much as she cares for its grounds. With the help of one man on the outside of the secret garden and one man on the inside, she might be the only person who can figure out exactly what Lilymore needs to bloom once more. There's just something always so whimsy feeling about Ashley Poston's books, since they are romances, but they're also magical realisms. It just feels very unique, feels very cozy, and this one specifically feels very summery. I will say I don't remember how clean her other books are. They're kind of books that I read and enjoy, and then they kind of fizzle out in my mind a little bit. But like I said, whenever I talk about secular books, I will always definitely share all of my thoughts, whether I DNF, what was too much, what was included, all in my reviews. But obviously if I haven't read the book yet, I can't say if I would recommend it or not yet, but this is one that is on my radar. And I am really, really excited to read it because I did enjoy her previous books. So that is all for this year's birthday haul. I'm just so thrilled with where this reading journey has taken me, and I'm so excited to see how I'm going to learn and grow and what my taste is going to be like in 2027. As always, if you guys have read any of these books, let me know your thoughts in the comments, or if you want to see any specific reading vlogs with any of these books, definitely let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I pray you have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!